this is the Jurgens Jindabyne. It's a lightweight classic and I love it. So let's see what the judges have to say. Now tell us a little bit about Jurgens Jindabyne.
Jurgens Jindabyne, it's actually quite different to most of the vans here in the way it's built. It's an Australian built van, although it has some South African origins.
Okay.
Yeah, most people don't know that, but it's
for a lump of plastic, it looks pretty cool, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a surprisingly solid van, built a little differently to most other vans here. The chassis, for instance, is based on an Alco design, but it has extra struts across it, as well as some extra extensions on the front of it.
And does that stop it twisting?
It does, yes, yeah. And the way the body's built will help that enormously, yeah.
Well, it's another pop top.
Yeah, and that's it's quite good for people who want a small van when they travel and they want to stay in caravan parks and have a very small tow vehicle because it weighs 1,350 kilos tow weight, so nice lightweight little van.
Easy to tow.
Yep, excellent.
So you could tow this with the family sedan.
Or Brookie's bright pink Fiat Bambino.
Well, no, actually, at 1,350 kilos tow, you will need a sort of fairly substantial mid-sized sedan at least to tow this with.
Oh, so, but you really actually could tow it with a Magna or something like that?
Or a Camry or, you know, a mid-sized sort of vehicle,
you don't need to upgrade to a four-wheel drive.
Oh, wow.
That's great.
Well, it certainly makes holidays a lot cheaper because, let's face it, some of these big vans that we're looking at, to actually get them around, you probably would find it quite expensive to do on petrol, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah, that's exactly right, and that's one of the other advantages of this van is that it is slightly more aerodynamic, and obviously being lighter, it's going to help with fuel efficiency of the tow vehicle.
For you, I guess, you know, everybody else has talked about the fact that it doesn't have, you know, a bathroom per se, but really, you know, when I was growing up, and you'd be the same, we didn't have that in any of the vans that we were going around in.
No, that's right, and not everybody's going to be looking for the same thing in a caravan. If you're planning to stay solely in caravan parks and places where there's facilities, then you don't need a bathroom on board, and if you want to keep weight down for one and cost down for another, this is definitely worth a look.
Hey Max, get over here and tell us about Jurgens Jindabyne.
Now, is the Jurgens Jindabyne, is it going to be like a Jurgens Kuma, and is it like basically an Alpine sort of naming thing that they've got going on?
No, I think what they're trying to do is evoke that sense of Australianism.
Okay.
Well, that's my guess anyway. I couldn't exactly say why they've named it the Jindabyne, but that's what I think they're going for.
Well, is it a nice warm van to be in? Because like it makes me want to take it to the high country.
Well, I reckon you'd be pretty tasty in the Jindabyne. I mean, it's got all the bits and pieces. I mean, what's not to like?
It's pretty cool.
It's Aussie made and it's called Jindabyne, but you go in, it reminds me of that ski lodge sort of feel.
Okay.
What I like about the Jindabyne is, well, there's a few things. One is the weight of the thing. I mean, it's 1,350 kilos. You load it up, you've got 300 kilos to play with in terms of payload. You know, and then it'll weigh 1,650 kilos ATM, and that's still eminently manageable by so many family cars out there. The Falcon wagon, you know, Commodore wagons. You know, it's just a really, really practical towing proposition for a couple who might not be interested in upgrading their family car, because let's face it, a modern four-wheel drive ain't cheap.
So Maxie, is there anything about this van that you would probably hope to see change down the line?
Well, the Jindabyne is the only pop top here that doesn't have a bathroom, and you know, I mean, take it as it is, this is a good van for 32 grand. You're not really going to get a pop top for 32 grand of this quality with a bathroom. It's just not going to happen.
But see, that's not a huge problem because you get all that extra room.
Well, it's certainly not a problem for me because you do get a little extra space. You know, in lieu of a bathroom, there's a little bench seat and a bit of extra bench space and all that sort of stuff. So I think the question becomes, you know, do I want to save space, save some money, and use the amenities in the caravan park?
Oh, well, for boys, let's face it, the world's our bathroom.
Well, that's one way of looking at it. I admit to nothing.